Hey guys, how's it going? This is Dr. Ben and welcome to the channel. Welcome to this membership site where I bring to you the 100% healing for any disease. And today we're going to talk about the 3 T's, the thoughts, the traumas, and the toxins of amenorrhea. Now, a lot of you guys would know that you probably would have already tried to do something when it comes to healing from amenorrhea. But I always say this, and I say this with the most love and pride in a good way, like I'm proud to call you a human being. Because you and I are firstly called to be human, and a lot of times human beings do too much just to have something, right? So in the quest of gaining health or regaining health if you have a disease, a lot of us tend to do something. But you got to understand that before we even did anything, in the Bible, whether you are a Bible-believing Christian or if you believe God at all, the Bible is for everybody because they have principles for life, and that's where I teach, and that's where the testimonies have come from. So regardless of race, language, or religion, I want you to just keep an open mind, keep an open heart. This is not about religion. This is not talk about religion. This is about relationship, right? Because we are called to be human beings, and the reason why you and I are called to be in healthy relationships is because before God even gave a command to Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden, kind of like the one that I'm sitting in right now, he actually said that man should not be alone, and therefore God created Eve for Adam, right? He put Adam to sleep, and then he carved a piece of his rib out and he made Eve, right? So that principle where man should never be alone was the first thing that God said you and I must live by. And therefore relationships are the one thing that often is missed out when it comes to dealing with diseases like amenorrhea, okay? And a lot of times people deal with the toxins, right? I always talk about what Myron Golden says in the quest to gain transformation. There are 6 steps, right? The 3rd step is to make a decision to be transformed, and then you got to go through the discipline to be transformed. And then finally, you start to recognize the different symptoms and how you've been improving. Then maybe the clinical signs have been improving, your lab results have been better, and then you finally celebrate a testimony. But notice I just mentioned steps 3 to 6 because steps 1 and 2 are like this: being aware, and then you get intentional about it. Now, before you even decide to be transformed and go through the discipline of being transformed, you have to be first intentional with directing your resources or directing your time, directing your attention. That's why I'm so thankful that you have chosen to devote some time, 3 to 5 minutes on this video to listen. And my goal of this video is to make you more aware and therefore directing your intention towards deciding to be transformed. Okay, so it's really revealing to you the why of the disease and taking the mystery out of the disease. Now, going back to how you and I are called to be human beings, a lot of us actually are stuck in this space where we are just focusing on our diet, focusing on getting rid of toxins, and all these are great stuff. And I put the research in my newsletter on my LinkedIn page, and I will put that in the description box down below. But understand that all these research talking about what to eat, what to do, exercise regime, what diet that you should be on, fasting, water fast, carb fast, keto fast, all these things are powerful to invoke healing. But those are just doing stuff, correct? Because we all have bodies and we got to take care of our bodies, right? But at the end of the day, you got to understand that before we do and have, we got to be humans. And relationships are the fundamental blocks of why we exist. Now, mind-body connections, a lot of research have also been shown, and I'll link, like I said, it's in the newsletter, and a lot of research have been shown. Okay, I'm just going to quote a couple of research from here. 𝗷𝗫𝗄𝗧, like I may have pronounced his name wrong, but he said in his book, When the Body Says No, The Cost of Hidden Stress, he talked about how unprocessed emotional trauma and heartbreak weaken your immune system, fueling autoimmune and hormonal dysregulation, and by extension, it disrupts your ovarian function. So for you women, if you have unresolved emotional trauma, it can disrupt your ovarian hormones, therefore disrupting your reproductive cycle and therefore messing up your menstruation. So if you miss your period, this is likely to be why. Now, if you've tried everything and none of those worked, or maybe it worked halfway, you're on the right track because you chose to watch this video, and you're understanding now that there are possibly unprocessed emotional trauma and heartbreak that you have not resolved. Now, I'm going to delve a little bit deeper into the specific type of trauma and emotional wounds, okay? And I understand that you may be watching this video in your own private space, maybe together with your friend, your spouse, your boyfriend, girlfriend, and you have this disease and you're wondering how else can I benefit from healthcare. I want you to understand that what I'm about to tell you can trigger some emotional responses, as it always does in the clinic. And it may make you go, I'm such a lousy person, but please hear my heart, that everything that I'm about to say to you is from my heart of healing, my heart of hope, and I'm sharing a message of love, okay? Now, when it comes to amenorrhea and hormonal issues that came from stress, that was derived from unprocessed emotional wounds, a lot of it is actually a relationship breakdown with yourself. Okay, now when you don't have a good relationship with yourself, I gave you the context about relationships earlier, like how we were meant to be in a relationship, not just with others, but with ourselves as well. Okay, when you don't have a good relationship with yourself, you came from a place of abuse. Perhaps your dad abused you, your mom abused you, and perhaps you went through this place where you just didn't feel the love of your parents, because they are meant to be the loving, nurturing, protective, and provisional type of parents, right? The ideal kinds of parents. And if you went through those trauma and you've never processed it, and you start to go through episodes of rejections, and you start to feel what others think of you, like you're so insecure that you start to live your life, do things just to gain approval from others. That's called the fear of man. And you end up not trusting people, you end up not being vulnerable with others. You have to understand that ultimately that is a relationship breakdown with yourself. And because it is over a long period of time, you gotta understand that this would have created a lot of stress in your body. And because stress ultimately can happen from many things, right? Stress can happen from daily life, like you may fear the future, you may fear the finances, and you may fear money and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, the most detrimental form of stress is a relationship breakdown. Okay, and relationship breakdown, at the end of the day, when it involves yourself, it is often hidden, and it often goes unnoticed, because you're the only one who is victimized, and you end up going, I am in this by myself. So I want to call you out of there right now, okay? Person viewing this video, male or female, and if you're watching this, you're probably a female, and I'm going to call you out right now. I want you to understand that you're not alone, that I'm helping you to be aware and intentional with your health, and being healthy starts right now, okay? So guys, understand also that when you deal with these trauma, it often does not take place overnight. You have to start, like I said, now that you're aware, intentional. I would love for you to click the link down below and actually book a diagnostic assessment with me, because that's where I will actually take you on that journey. So I want to end this video now, and I don't want to bore you too much with the theories and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, guys, transformation starts with awareness, and I hope this video did that for you, to help you to be more aware. So if you came from a place of abuse, lack of love, and maybe you were abandoned, rejected, I want to say sorry on behalf of whoever hurt you, and I want to say that hope, faith, and love is still on the other side of your life, and your disease can be conquered. Okay, so I really want to say that I'm available for transformation power, and that is something that my life's mission is for. It is to help patients first be aware and intentional. And at the end of the day, guys, if you are now aware of where this hormone disruption came from, the stress from lack of love and abuse and trauma, unresolved emotional wounds and stuff like that, if ultimately it causes you to go, I know who to go to, I already have a person, thank you, Dr. Ben, I'm perfectly fine. At the end of the day, I'm looking to, through my work deriving from many other people who have gone before me, my mission and vision is to really help you to gain vision and gain knowledge, so that you don't perish, because the Bible says that for without vision and knowledge, people perish. So I hope you gain that awareness, and therefore applying the right intention to the right space, so that you can now decide who to go to. And then that's me, great, I'm more than happy to help. to start to be transformed. Okay, so I bless you. Thank you so much for watching this video, and stay tuned for next week's video.